Everyone, amazing here. Welcome to the third part of this Excel dashboard. So if you've not watched the first and second part of this dashboard, so go ahead and take a look at that. You will definitely love the the logics behind this dashboard we're actually creating. So let me take you to the finished dashboard right here. Here we go. So you have a filter that you can actually always click right and actually clear all the hot filter we have placed there automatically and all of that. And we have this filters right here that goes into contract, full-time and part-time employees, and low earners and full earners and top earners. So if you're curious about the dashboard, it's actually salary information from San Francisco government employee from 2011 to 2013 that you're trying to analyze right here and break it down and actually tell a story with the data. So because we can't see this figure purely, if I click on this particular 2013 right now, you see the value is peculiar to 2013 and the whole dashboard will definitely change. So right now, let us go to the third part of this dashboard. Are you ready? Because I am ready. Okay, back to the right workbook. So let me just take you to the data set we have right here. So here the data set we have right on this, and this particular 4 columns we have here was not actually part of the data given to us. So we try as much as we could to actually create this dynamically. So if you've not watched my first video where I have this created and all of that, so just go and take a look at that and the second video as well. And this is the color we have actually used on the dashboard to make the dashboard to be some kind of standout. And now we have actually pre-analyzed the data we are about to get into right here. It's just a pivot table. We just have to create it and all of that. So we are trying to actually show the best paid job by title right here. You know what it is? It's very simple to actually create. It's all about you just right click on when you actually drag this. I'm going to show you how to do that from the scratch. Now for you to get it top right here, what you need to do is just for you to right click on this and just right click like here. Now you just have to right click, and once you actually done that, just go to filter and go to top 10 and actually make sure this is just showing just one of the highest among all the job titles. It's gonna give you this particular job title, all of that. So we do the same thing to this because what I get is based on base pay, and base pay is the actual payment of every employee before we have overtime or other pay and all that and others like that. So now the next thing I'm going to do right now to have this very well seated right here, this is the title I have for it, just for me to read my chart nicely, to read my pivot table nicely. I'm just going to go Control-1 right here. So once I hit Control-1, I'm just going to go to align. So it might be right here. Just click on align and click right here and just set center across and actually go we do this right here. So you can decide to actually make sure you have this particular color for it and change this. When somebody comes, the person will definitely know what this particular part of the dashboard is all about. So now how do we get this right there? And what I'm going to do right now is just for me to click right on it and go to filter, because right I have a filter. I'm just going to go to analyze, and here I'm going to click on my filter. I'm going to show you the filter I'm going to have to place on this right now. I have this off filter right on it, so I'm just going to place this filter, have it connected. So go to filter and make a connection to this filter. So don't worry if you don't know what is going on, watch the first second video, you will definitely understand what is going on right here. So we have this filter 20 or 12 13 right here, and we have other filters that we have actually included in our second video. You can actually go ahead and take advantage of how you can actually know how to do all we're about to do right now. So I'm just going to click on I'm going to go right here and click on this particular option. From option, I'm just going to actually have to type 3 right in here. Just type 3 right there, and that's exactly what we need to do. So beautiful. So I'm just gonna have to go and adjust it a little bit. So right click on it and go to go to slicer settings, and from there I'm just gonna say disable the header and hide if there is no any value, and I'm just gonna make sure I have it. So I just want to make sure it balanced well right here. I'm gonna be cool with this, right? So just a little bit. So I have my I have already pre-formatted this. So watch the video number 1 and you will be good to go. And I'm going to click right here as well. I'm going to click on it. I'm just going to go right here. So we have this, right? So we can actually go, I'm going to stretch it out. So this is going to be right here because it has longer labels. Drag it out so it shows everything that I have right there. So I'm just going to click this and actually go to slider settings. I'm going to have to disable this and hide item with no data. So we have something like this. So I'm just going to actually make sure I bring this right here. I make it sit right here and actually have to shrink it this way. Now we have the slicer right on it. So the next thing we're going to do right now is that we just have to go back And once we do that, so I'm just going to click on this particular title right here, bring it down right here, or I'm going to go to the top level, and I'm going to actually have to turn on my formula bar, because I want to type in equal to and bring that forward right here. So here we go, equal to, we go to analysis 3, and I'm going to bring on my on my nets. Here we go, I'll have it to the P at the top level right here. So I'm going to actually have to cut it down. And once I've done that, I'm going to put on my equal to again. So right on it, I'm going to go back to analysis, and I'm going to have to bring the value that is peculiar to it. So here we go, we have that, right? So now when we select full pay, we have it. So we have part-time, so it's actually changing the value for us. So we just have to actually make sure we format it properly the way it should be. Okay, let me make sure you can see this very well. So right now, based on what we have right here, this is not what I want to have. So I want to actually make sure I change narration right here. I'm just going to go to the top level and change the custom caption. I'm just going to say equal to this particular top job right here, which is job title. I'm going to have to concatenate it with double quotation, with closed, and now another double quotation again. I'm just going to say by full pay. So we have it closed. I'm going to hit enter, and that's exactly what I need to do. And for me to actually have this done, I'm going to have to copy this, because I don't have to revent the wheel again. I'm going to have it pasted right here. Double click on it and actually make sure I move this down right here as well. So, and this time around, I'm going to change this to to base pay. The base pay right on it. So we can actually go ahead and change this, instead of this particular one to be just that. So I'm gonna go right here, I'm gonna have to make a reference to this. I'm gonna hit OK. Now it's giving me this, so I can actually go ahead and change the header now to fit into what we really wanted. So if I actually change this now, it's saying firefighter full pay and part-time, so it's transit operator full pay. So we have to extend this to make sure if we have longer longer detail belts, so we can actually have to contain it. So I'm just gonna have to stretch this out. I hope you understand what's going on right here right now. So I'm going to stretch this all the way down right here. I'm going to have to stretch this and actually have to extend it downward. And I'm going to click on this right here. I'm going to go to the top level right here, hit on home, and from home go to format painter, and I'm going to have it right on this. So can you see what is going on right now? So I have to actually go ahead and change this title right on it. So can we see this? I can actually make sure it's bold if need be, or I can actually make sure it's going to be like this. That is cool. So I can actually go ahead and actually drag it to the top level right here. So if it changes, the value changes as well. So beautiful. Now what do we need to do to have this done? We just have to copy what we have right here, copy everything, just hold your control and then drag your mouse. Okay, fine, we have it down right here. So what we need to do right now is just to make sure this is actually peculiar to what we have right on this part here. So just gonna be this. So I'm just gonna go right back. I'm gonna have to bring the value that is actually for go back right here and make sure we select the base pay value is gonna be selected. So we have to go right and copy the formatting from here and make sure we have it right on this. And the same thing we have done right here, we still want to go have this right. So now can we see this on full screen and see how it looks? So it's going to look very much beautiful. So we have it on full screen right now. So we just get it on full screen. You see what I'm seeing right now? So if I actually click on what you can see, it's moving, and it's actually showing a very huge effect on this. And if I actually click on this particular year, it's changing for us. So we're going to have the filter connected to every single thing we have right here. And if I want to have the filter cleared off right now, what am I going to do? Is just when we come right here as a clear filter. So that is why it is very much important. If you've not watched my first video and second video, go ahead and take a look at that in the playlist and actually have to learn everything I have done right here to make sure that everything is actually cool. So now we're going to concern ourselves much about what we have right here right now, which is very, very simple and easy to actually create. So let's see how we can actually create that in no time. So now we have to focus on this part right here and all these parts. So it's very simple and easy, don't get panic. So let's just go to the right workbook and have it created. Here we hit it back, and I'm going to go right here and actually drag a little bit and come right here. Here is what we're going to be using to do that. So now we are right here. So what am I going to do? So I'm just going to actually have placed my cursor right on it, I'm going to go back again and actually drag in my I'm going to drag in my job title. I'm going to have it at the top level right here. I have the job title right here, and what I'm going to do this time around is not just for me to show it by count. Instead, I'm just going to go right here to the value. I'm going to show it as percentage of column total. I have it just on percentage, and here we go. We just have to put on our equal to, and I'm going to be some kind of dragging this. So I'm going to drag it down to this level. I'm going to have to drag it. So we have it, right? So we have to change this to what? To percentage of what? Percentage of employees. So I'm going to hit OK. So I have it changed, percentage of employees. That is beautiful. So now it's not on the proper percentage right here. I can actually go ahead and actually highlight this part and actually go and pick on this format painter. And I have it right here. I have it better. So now I can actually create this to be what? Blank. I'm going to put blank area here. Blank area. So for my blank area, what am I going to do? I'm just going to say equal to 100% right here. 100% minus this value we have in here. I'm going to hit OK. Now I have to drag this down. And for the last time again, I'm going to have to just make sure I highlight everything right here and just click on this and have it right here. We have the right percentage right now. Now this is the leftover percentage that is actually, you know, that is when we actually make sure we have this equal to this plus this is going to give us just 100%. That is exactly what we've just got created. So we're going to actually use this to make our blank area. So I'm going to have this get off, and now we can actually go ahead and create this and create our chart, the kind of chart we want to have created. Go to insert, and from insert, I'm going to hit on this particular type of chart and go to Doughnut. This Doughnut chart right here, and I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna lower it a little bit. I'm gonna have to make sure I remove anything from here. I don't want it, so we just have to remove that right now. And just guess what we have done. So we just got to create lower. I'm just gonna have to cut it away from here. Go to my dashboard and actually make sure I have it pasted in here on my dashboard. So now I'm just gonna make sure I zoom this so that we can see it better. So now what do? We just have to double click on it, and once we have it double clicked on, so we can now see this. I'm going to remove this to this way, go to fill, I'm going to say no fill, then go to border. I'm going to say no border. Right now we have border around the chart itself. Just click on it and just say no border right on it. So we have the border be removed, and now we have to just hover over it and see where we have lower inner, and right here what we have the lower inner as well. And we just have to go back to analysis, and we have to see, okay, where are we having the blank is actually is carrying 51.25. so we just go back, so we place it on it right now, and we show the tooltip, and here is going to be the blank 51.25. so just double click on the blank right here. Once you have it double clicked on, so come back right here and click on it, and you see the color reflected right in here, and just change the color to something this like this. And once you have that changed, I'm just gonna actually have to make sure I move this right here. I'm gonna have to change this particular color, change the color to something like this. I think I'm gonna be cool with something like this. So we can decide to just lower the transparency and change the color. Any color could be used for this, or you can decide to use any of the colors we have right here, any of the colors at all. And this is where the problem is, where the main work is gonna be. So what color do we want to use for this? So I'm just gonna say, okay, for now I'm gonna use this color for this, and every single time I create my chart, I'm gonna use the color for this particular color for my blank area. So here is where I have my main value. I think I'm not really cool with this. I'm just gonna have to still reduce it a little bit. So I'm cool with what I'm just having right now. I'm just cool with this. I can actually have it done this way. So now Control D, we have it duplicated. I'm gonna duplicate it and move it down right here. I'm gonna Control D again to have it duplicated to the next part, which is to the last part right here. I'm gonna have it to sit well right now. So once I've done that, what am I gonna do is very simple. Just make sure you have it clicked on, and for the middle you just have to go right on select data and go towards, just make sure you have this deselected, and make sure you move this away from here. You just highlight all this range here and click on OK. We have something like this. Never worry about it yet. Just go right click on it, select data, and just go and change to the top. And once you have done that, just hit OK. So don't get panic about what's going on right now. So just double click on it and actually have this back again. And once you have done that, click again, go to what, go to the border, say no border to it. So we've removed the border, and right now this is the blank area right here. For the blank area, we have to remove the blank area because the blank area of middle is carrying almost 60%, right? That's 67.22%. So we click back again. It's actually giving us that same value. Once we hover over it, 67.22%. So we have it highlighted, and we just have to select the same thing we have selected right here, and we have to be sure the percentage we are using right here is actually what. So we just have to make sure we select this alone. So it's actually 68%. So go right here and make sure you have 68% being selected. So I'm gonna go for 68%. So we have the same thing being selected. I have to change this color to make sure it stands out, and just gonna be saying, okay, for now I need something like this. Okay, fine, beautiful. So we have to do the same thing we have done to that part, to this particular part as well. So now I can actually change the color we have right here. I want to change it to this particular green color right now, and beautiful, we have something like this. So it's almost looking like our main graph, just we're trying to replicate right now. So if I actually put it on 100%, so I'm gonna have it on 100%. So right now let's see what is going on right on our dashboard. So can you see this? It's actually looking just like that. So we are almost right there. The next we're gonna do right now is for me to actually make sure I have this actually dragged down right here. I'm going to go right to the top level right now and put on my equal to. I want to bring the value or the percentage that is peculiar to what, to this particular lower end. So and the percentage is actually just this particular lower end is carrying this particular percentage. I'm going to have it right in there. That is what it is. So now we have to go right to the top level and actually make sure we crank it up a little bit. Okay, we deselect it, we click back again, and we just go back and we have it cranked, and we can actually go ahead and actually make sure we change this and have it on bold and make sure it's sitting tightly right inside here, and we can actually drag this and bring this down right here, drag this and bring this down right here, and now I can actually make sure I have it some kind of, you know, very cool close to the screen that we can see it better. So now we have to just change the value of this to what, to middle. We go to what, we go back, and right here we click on what, we click on middle. We get the percentage, we click this, we go for what, we go for the same thing. I'm just gonna hit back, go right here, and we go to what, go here and actually click on the top, we get a percentage. So for we to be consistent with our formatting, I'm just gonna go double click and have it right here, and beautiful, we just have something cool right now. So now for we to get all those right here, what we need to do right now, I just love doing this, just make sure you have all this highlighted at the same time. Just make sure you have all of them highlighted at the same time. So it's gonna be a little work, but it's not that huge. So now I have to drag this down to this end. I'm gonna make sure it aligns properly. We're gonna drag it down to this end. I think I'm gonna be cool with what I have right now. So once I've done that, I can actually make sure I have it dragged right here, and manually I can decide to do something different in this short period of time, so I can have it released. So if I go to the top level right now, I want to start from here, and I'm just going to do this alone, and I'm going to show you that how to do this, and the remaining part of it will be done behind the scenes. So the first thing you're going to do right now is just for we to get our full end right here, and to get our full end right here, you know what to do is for we to just say go right here, and what is the full end? The full end of this particular the full end is actually, where is the full end? The full pay here is what we need to get, and we get the base pay. We just have to get the base pay, and for to get the base pay, we look for where we have the base pay. We get it right here, and we need to get the order pay. Then for we to get the order pay right now, we'll click back on it, and we have the order pay right here, and we need to get the total employee. We just have to go get the total employee right here. I think it's the one at the last column. So for the total employee, we have it. So make sure you're consistent with what you're doing, and now we have to actually make sure we bump this up rightly to make sure it sits right on it. So we can now highlight this and actually go to the top level right here and put it on 16, and we have to make it bold, and now we centralize it. That's exactly what we need to do, and we can actually say okay, fine, we get it right on this. For those ones right here, we don't have to do the same thing we have done, and we just have to do something. Make sure you have this clicked. So understand what we're doing right here, because we want to actually make sure we centralize this rightly. Go back to the top level right here and click on this format, Now what you need to do right now is just to look at this. We want to actually change this particular weight right now to 1.74. So just go right ahead and change this to 1.74. So it's going to be 1.74. So we have that for a reason, and we're gonna hit this as well. We're gonna do the same thing to this. We're gonna just choose 1.74 is right on it, and this is not right, so I'm just gonna go right and just choose 1.74, 1.74 right on it. So beautiful, we have that done. So I think we are really cool with this 1.74 for all of them. So now I just want to select this and actually make sure I go to the top level right here and actually go to what? Go to home, and I have it centralized, and I just have to go right and just change this to this particular color. Right, so if I decide to bold it, that is my own choice. I can actually decide to just use this. Now this is exactly what I need to do, so we can actually get every part of it right here as well. So for we to actually get it to kind of not too, we don't have to go too wide on this for to get bored about this. So we have to just tap it like this. Create this on your own. It should be your assignment. So I'm just going to scroll down to this way, and you can see we have this top 6 earners of all time. So we don't want to place filter on this. We just want the filter not to work on this because filters are not working on this as well. So how do we do that? Just go back right here. I'm going to scroll all the way down. We have top 6 employee earners of all time. Just select and control 1. So we want to centralize it. Just go to alignment and center across selections. I'm just gonna say okay. Right now you can decide to actually make sure the header is carrying a very nice color and bold it, so when somebody comes, the person is gonna know what it is. And to do your top 6, what you need to do is just to make sure you rank this by largest to smallest, so which is already done. So for this top 6, I'm gonna select my top 6 right here. Once I have it highlighted, right click on it and go to what? Just go to filter and just say keep all the selection. So now we have something like this selected. So we just have to go quickly and create a chart that is just going to represent that for us. Pivot chart right here. I don't need this particular type of chart. I need something like this. I think I'm cool with this. So we have something like this created, and if we decide to use different chart, we can actually go ahead and do that. But I think I have something like this. But if we look at the chart we have created right now, it's a little bit different than what we have. It should be ranking from the largest to smallest, but right now it's actually ranking from the smallest to the largest. How can we change that narration? It's very simple and easy. So we can change it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If I minimize it right now, you can see I'm going to have this closed. So for sure. Okay, I have to move this right here. Now this is actually starting this Judy right here. This Judy right here is actually starting it, but it's actually at the end. For we to do that, just double click on it right now. It's not going to work. Just right click on it and go to what? Go to fixed axis and just go to what? Category in reverse order. Once you actually have that done, so now we have it to align properly the way it should be right now. So we just have to cut this away from here and go to our main dashboard and have it placed and make it some kind of align with the dashboard colors and stuff like that. So we just have to go, I'm gonna actually make sure I have it down this way. I'm gonna go down all of that. So double click on it. Once we have double click on it, just say no border and no fill, and now we just move it. So we just have to click on this particular grid line. You know what it is I used to do to my grid line sometimes. So the gradient line here, I remove those stops away from here, no extra stops. So change the perspective whatsoever. Now I'm just gonna have to click on this right here. I'm gonna have to make sure I have it some kind of stand out that it gives a nice effect to my dashboard. So I'm just going to go right here and change this to something bold and it's too light. So we go with this. I think I'm cool with it. So I'm going to click on this right here. I have to change the color to something like this, and not just that. So I can actually go right here and make sure I have it a little bit bigger. That is beautiful. So if I decide to actually have my figure right here, I can go and have my data label right in here. So click on it again and go to the top level. What am I going to do? I'm going to go for what? Go for the data label right on it. So we can decide to make it bold if need be. And for now, I'm concerned about how the figure is going to fit in. So I'm going to move this right. So it's now cool. So we have to make sure we move the figure. So align option inside in, so we can actually leave it this way. I think we are cool with what we have right now. I think is really cool. So we have that settled down. So the next thing we're gonna do right now, which is almost we are at the back end of this particular dashboard, is actually this part right here. How can we create it? If we go to the finished dashboard, we have this chart right here that is actually very nice. Every single time place filter, it responds to filter as well. Okay, it can respond to this filter, but when I actually go ahead and clear my filter away from here right now, if I place filter, it responds to this filter of middle, low, and top inner. Now, can you see that? You can respond to this filter right here. When we play the filter, I want to see in 2013 the full-time employee is 1,783, and this is the percentage that represents. So how do we do that? So we just have to go back and create the kind of chart that is actually going to make that for us. So here we go right here. I'm going to just drag it down to this end right here. So we have the contrast already as pivot table will be selected. So right click on it and actually go toward the field setting. And what we need to do is just for we to drag it again to give us the count. So not this time around, we don't want this particular part, just want the percentage for now. I'm just going to go and say percentage of grand total, and after this I'm just going to go right and actually drag this down again, and this time around what I want is just the count, not on this value. I'm just going to go on Control 1 and I'm going to go to number, just give me a number out of there. So here, okay, now it's giving me the percentage and the count as well, but right now we have to create what? We have to create a chart. So if I go ahead and create a chart from here, it's going to be weird because I already have two columns of values right in here. So instead of that, I'm just going to go right and hit on my equal to and just click on this, drag it down to this end. I'm just going to use my percentage to create a chart. I'm going to drag it down. So we have something like this. What do? We just highlight this and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. As I always say, click on this and actually have it right here. We have the value change to percentage as usual. So now we can now go ahead and create a kind of chart we're going to actually use to actually get that visualized. So we have this chart right here. I have to get this removed and I have to make sure I make it smaller, and I have to have this removed as well. And I can actually cut it away to my main dashboard. That is pretty good. So click on this and actually have this in here. Control V, we have this particular one plugged in right here. So that is beautiful. So now I can actually go ahead and actually make sure I make it smaller. So I double click on it right here and actually go and make sure no fill, no border. So I'm going to centralize it. So Control Z will help me to fit it back, right? So I have to click on this and make sure I have it highlighted separately. And now I can centralize it. I can make it some kind of, I think it's too really huge for me now to work with. So I'm really cool with this. I think I'm just some kind of cool with this, right? So now click on this and remove the desk. I think now if I have this click done, so guess what I'm gonna do right now? I can actually reduce. I can reduce this. Can reduce this right here. Have it reduced, something like this. So now I can click on this alone. Make sure you highlight this alone. So once you have that highlighted, just go back right here and go to this particular part here and make sure you have this some kind of, make it more thicker. Can you see what I have done right here? So, and you can change the color to something that we have, the kind of color we had previously, any of the color you want to use. So if you want to use this color right now, go ahead and have the color selected, right? And actually come right here, can go right here now and say now for sure I don't want this particular one to give me the outline. So I have the outline removed and I can go to this particular field color to change the color to what I really wanted. I might want this particular green color for it. I have the green color, and for this right here I will definitely want to still have this this border right around it, but I don't want the color to be on that color. I can decide to use the same color I've used right here, and I'm gonna go right here. Let's see what color I'm using. Okay, I've gotten the color I'm using. Go down right here, select the same color right on this so it rhymes together, and now I can bump it up a little bit. It's gonna be bigger. Now that was how I just got this created so nicely. I think you get to understand what it is that I've done right now. So what we need to do right now is just to make sure we get this right here, and we have to bring the value that is peculiar to this as well. And I'm gonna bring this down. I'm gonna drag it down a little bit. Okay, fine. So now you know what it is that we have to do. We just have to plug in every single percentage we have right in here. Okay, you know how we used to get this right here? It's just for you to actually make sure we highlight and put our equal to and make sure we represent it with everything we have right here. And what we need to do right now is just to make sure we have those particular percentage. I'm going to have them in italic. And once I've done that, I'm just going to make sure I go right here and select what it is. Okay, I want to go with this, right? I don't want to actually make sure it is on, just make sure it's on italic. Just double click on it and actually make sure you have it right here. So now different thing is going to be what we can now do to this. Make it bold, and I'll give it just some kind of 12 and actually have it on this. Double click on it, and here we go. Oh, sorry for that. So I should have actually double click it twice and actually use it as many as I can. So now we have something like this. So if I go right now, I want to pull this on the full screen and see what it is that we have done on 100% view. So just select this and actually. So now here we go on 100% view. We have something like this, very nice. So what we need to do right now is just to have this particular, filters connected to this particular part right here. You know what it is. So you just have to go to this particular part and actually see what it is that you can do to actually have the filter connected. And how do you do that? So just locate what you want to connect filter to, and for this right now I want to connect filter right here. Just click on it and go to this particular part right here and go to analyze, and from your analyze click on this. And what filter do I need? I need filtered for job title. I don't need it, but for salary category and year I need filter for that. And the same thing will definitely happen to this as well. I have to place a filter on that. I'm just going to go filter connection, and for salary and year we don't need for job title because already we are on job title view, and that's exactly what we need to do. And you can actually select it and go right here as well and just do the same thing to this as usual. So go right on this, and actually for now I want to place filter. All the filters is going to actually be upon all this, and I'm going to do the same thing to this as well. I just have to place the filter on all this. That is how I used to connect my filter on this particular every time I create my Excel dashboard. So if we go back right now, we can see changes every single time we place filter right now. There will be very massive changes right on this. So now here we go. We click on contract. So we click on this window pay right here. So we see this actually going to change and all of that. But you can go ahead and do something very extraordinary right to this, because you want to actually make sure we highlight, we do this by ranking. So we go right here and actually right click on it and go to sort, and sort from largest to smallest right here. And there is one thing I want to do. The last thing I want to do right now is that once I have done that, okay, I think I have to go back again and sort it from okay, let's go back and see what it is. Can we see this now? So the last thing I want to do right now is just for me to actually go right here and copy this down and have it right here. And what I'm going to do now is just for me to just go to the top level right now, go to view, and from view formula bar, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to have my equal to right in here. I'm going to go right to the top level right here. I have to scroll down all the way. Oh, sorry for that. Go to this analysis one. Now for what I just want to get the total number of the top 20 is going to be right here. This is what it is that I need to get. So now I can actually go ahead, go to home, and from home select this right here, and I'm going to make sure I have this color right for it. So centralize it and put it on bold. Now it's giving me the numbers. So what we need to do right now, we have to make this is on white, and that is what it is. So centralize it. So put it on bold, and here we go. So make sure we drag this down. Now hold your control, select it again, and hold down your control and bring this down right here. And what you need to do now, go back again and actually pick what it is, percentage right on it. So it's just representing 58% of the total number we have right here. Okay, now we just have to go right and actually make sure the percentage is being formatted in italic, and we're going to change the percentage to actually carry this particular color. I will make it bold. So something like this is cool for the percentage, right? So we can actually decide to actually go ahead and actually say we want to clear our filter right now. We have the filter clear. Once the filter has been cleared, you're going to see a very different story that the data actually, tells us. Now, what we need to do right now is just to go back right here and make sure this is going to be some kind of one with separator, and remove the extra decimal away from it. So go back to the dashboard and we see it right on a nice view. Now what's exactly what I had done right here. So for the remaining filter, let's go ahead and actually place the filter and play around with your data and see what it is that we have actually achieved right on this dashboard. So you would have a very good day, creating dashboards for your boss or for your own personal use and stuff like that. If you watch this tutorial from the from the inception down to this particular level right now, you will definitely have that particular passion to start creating dashboard on your own out of that. So right now, can you see what I've done right here? Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate for you to stay down to this end. So if you're still here with me, you are definitely wonderful. I want to say thank you very much. So if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do that. And if you have been a subscriber, your comment is very important to me. Let me know what I'm not doing right, which I have to actually adjust, because I'm here because of you guys. Without you guys, there will be no me and all of that, and without me there will be you guys. So for that, I want there to be me. For there to be me, make sure you tell me what it is that I'm not doing right, that you want me to actually adjust. So I'm just gonna adjust and actually give you what it is that you really want. So click any of the card right here and start watching any of my tutorial, or go beneath this particular video comment section and click on the playlist and actually take a look at the first, second video if you've not watched it. And I have other awesome video for you guys like Power BI, SQL. We are actually making this particular channel to be very awesome in analytics. So I love you guys. Thank you. Stay blessed and stay out of trouble.